Welcome back viewers. In today's video we are going to do installation of Archcraft. So I have already downloaded 3 Archcraft ISO. This is the main Archcraft ISO. Then you got the LXDE Archcraft ISO and the XFC Archcraft ISO. So first we will start with the first one that we have downloaded. Select the Arch Linux template. Select the first option. Now we are booted into the Openbox window manager of Archcraft. So we are greeted with a welcome screen also. So this is the welcome screen of Archcraft. So there is a get started section. You can launch the CalAMS installer for installation, or you can launch the ABIF. This is the command line interface installer. So this installer comes with a command line interface. So this will be very interesting. So we will start the installation with the ABIF instead of the CalAMS. CalAMS, everybody, we have seen it many times. So let us do the command line interface installation. So this is the command line installer, or you can even say TUI installer, that is the terminal user interface installer. So it will guide us step by step to complete the installation. So first is you have to select the English language. Now there are 5 stages. First is the preparation of the installation. Second is to install the base. Third is to configure the base. Fourth is to review the configuration files. So we will start with, and fifth is the done. So after the fifth stage, that is we are completed with the installation, you have to restart the system and then boot into the whatever system you have installed. So we will not go in the set virtual console, so it is automatic. You can if you want, but there is no need as such, so we will cancel this. Set desktop layout, yes, we can do that. So what I am going to do is, since by default it is using the US locale, so we will install a US keyboard. So it is available at right at the end of the options. We will select US keyboard layout. Now you have to list the devices that are available. So by default we can see the VDA disk, that is the virtual hard disk that we allocated for the virtual machine, that is 25 GB space is there. Now you have to partition the disk. Select the disk. There are options: securely wiped device, automatic partitioning, G-parted, CF disk and parted. So for this installation we will use auto partitioning. You can use the securely wiped device if the device already has some partitions and some systems already installed on it, and you want to wipe and start with a fresh installation. CF disk is for the BIOS MBR type partitioning. Parted is for the UEFI GPT partitioning, and G parted is for the BIOS and UEFI partitioning. So we will go with the automatic partitioning. I will show you. So every time we will try to do different things in the installer. So this time we will go with auto partitioning. In some later videos I will show you the G part. We already seen, of course, the G parted, but every time we try out different things. So most of the times we do the manual partitioning. This time we will go with the automatic partitioning. So here the option is 512 MB boot partition will be first created, followed by a second root partition using all remaining space. If you intended to use swap, select the swap file option while mounting. So do you wish to continue? Yes. Now here you can see the partitioning has been done. So we have to just exit from the partition. So there is 512 MB of boot partition and 24.5 of the root partition. So now I have to exit it, the exit the partitioner. Now if you want to go ahead with the loop encryption, you can go here. So there are three options available, that is the open encrypted partition, automatic loops encryption, and define the key size and the cipher. So here you can define the key size and cipher and set up the cipher or the encryption. And the fourth option is to come back out of the this encryption program. Then if you want to do a logical volume management, you have to specify. So you can create the VG and LV. You can delete the volume groups. If there are some volume groups earlier, you can delete those and create new. You can delete all. So it will remove all the logical volumes, personal volumes, and all those things. And fourth is you have to come back. That is, you have to exit out of the LVM program. Now seventh step is to mount the partitions. So we will do the mounting of partitions. So first you have to select the root partition. You have to select the file system. So we have got a lot of different options: extended 2, 3, 4, file to file FS, JFS, journaling file system, that is nil FS2, NTFS, Razor FS, VFAT, and XFS. So XFS. So we will choose the extended 4. So now it will create an extended 4 file system on the root partition. Now you have to select some mount options and review carefully. So first is data is equal to journal, data is equal to write back, dealloc, discard, no ACL, no time, no A time, no barrier, and the node alloc. So I will choose the data is equal to write back. Then just let me go back. Okay, so we can select the swap file. Swap file automatically size is around 4 GB. That is done. Now yes, so third option is to select the any additional partitions in any order and to yes. So for this we will use the extended 4 also for the boot partition, and here you have to choose the option. So that is, you have to specify the partition on mount point for the boot partition, and here also you select this. Yes, the mount is successful. Now just let us go once back, because I think I have done missed one thing, that is extended 4. Yes, and now yes, here I did not select this data is equal to write back. That is done. Select the swap file. Done. This is the additional partitions, and you have to specify the boot partition. That is done, and here also specify this. Yes, now you are done. Now you have to select the back. So we will come out of the prepare installation stage. So now we are finished with the prepare installation stage. Now you have to go to the install base. Here there are three steps: install base packages, run make init cpio, install the bootloader, and then you have to exit out of that. So first we will start with the install base packages. Here it will download some packages from the servers also, and some packages will be there in the installer ISO. So you have to wait for the download and install of the different packages that are required for the Archcraft based system. You can see here the upload download speed, that is 5 kbps. So it means that it is right now not downloading anything from the servers. Most of the packages I think are in the ISO. Maybe it will install some few packages from the server, but mostly it is a complete ISO, because this Openbox is very light window manager, so not much files are needed to install it. So I think it will just complete the installation using the local available packages also. Here you can see the download or upload, nothing is going on. So everything was there in the ISO. So it has installed the base packages from the ISO. We are about to complete the installation of the base packages. We are completed with the installation of base packages. Second step is to run the make init cpio. So it will create the boot image. So it will create the init ramfs, that is the boot image. So when we start the system, the boot image is the first that gets loaded into the RAM, and it helps with starting up the system. So if you have noticed, the Z standard compression was used in the creation of the boot image. So this means the system will boot very fast, and that will help us to shut down and start the system very fastly. Now here you can see we have completed the second stage. We have created the boot image for the system. Now you have to install the bootloader. So we select the bootloader, and there are three options available. Grub System Linux with MBR, that is the master boot record style of bootloader, and there is simple System Linux slash bootloader. So it is the simplest one, but we will stick with the grub loader only, grub bootloader. And where to install the grub bootloader, the option is in the hard disk. Of course, it is logical that it will install the bootloader in the hard disk also. There is no other option anyway. So now the grub install command or the script will run in the background to install the bootloader to the virtual hard disk. In most of the other Linux distributions, you get the option to install the grub bootloader either in any of one of the partitions, but here that option is not there. It just asks us to select the type of bootloader and not the place where to install the grub bootloader. So this is the difference here. So now we have completed the three stages of install base. We will go back. So now you have to configure the base. So this is the most interesting part of this installer. So here you can generate the abstract or the entries for the different peripherals like USB. So I will not do that right now, it is not required. So I will just uh, select cancel and come out of it. You can see the host name is already automatically selected as Archcraft. So I will not change it. I will come back. System local. Yes, system local. Let us see. We will use the American local because already we have used the American keyboard layout and all, everything is American. So we will try to select the American local. We will go with EN, yes, and this is the American local. Rest are all different countries using the EN and ES, that is the Spanish language. So we will select the EN US type of local, or you can directly go for India also. I think India will be there. Let me check. EN should be there. If it is there, we will go with the Indian local also. Not a issue. Else we will have to go with just let me cancel it first. Okay, so system local, anyway we have to use the EN US only. India is not there, so I will use this local. Oh sorry, this is the system local, yes, and the language country. So EN US we will select, and in time zone we will select Asia, Calcutta. And there is two options, either to set the clock to UTC or local time. and UTC is a universal time standard and is recommended unless you are dual booting with the Windows. So I will go with the local time only. You can add users. So here you have to add the users. So create a new user. So I will create a user Sam. I will specify a password for the user Sam. You have to type it 2 times and it will automatically create the user and set groups for the user. And you have to then specify the password for the root user also. Yes, so you can go back and set the root password. So for root password, I will keep it very simple so I can remember that. So now your system has a root ID and a SAM user ID. So 2 users have been created. Now you have to go to the security and systemd tweaks. So you can use any of these options: amend journal log delogging, disable the core dump logging, restrict access to kernel logs. So you can specify whether you have to restrict the access to kernel logs. Here you can disable the kernel D message. You can edit the configuration file of the core dump, or so you can specify which users will can edit those or edit and view those core dump files. So anyway, we will not go with that right now. Now we will go back. We are completed with the security and systemd checks. Now another interesting part is review the configuration file. So here you can review all the files. So if you just select the first option, so this is the virtual console file. So virtual console is required whenever you boot the system. Now you can check out the local config. So the local is properly set. It is ENUS. I will close this. Now you can check out the host name. So host name is properly selected. That is the Archcraft. Now we will go with the host. So this is the host file for the system. This is the static table lookup for the host name. So this is for the internet. In the sudoers, you can check out. This is the configuration for the sudoers. The wheel group, the root password, everything. The privilege specifications are given. Making it CPIO configuration. So this is for the booting of the system image. So this is done. F-step, it is we have not touched the F-step for the installation, but it is there. The configuration, auto configuration is there. The crypt tab, of course we have not selected the crypting. So this is it. Now this is the KDE settings configuration. SDDM, this is the simple display device manager configuration for the Openbox. Openbox is using the SDDM display manager. Now this is the Pacman configuration. So here you can see the Pacman has a configuration file. So you can just, I will show you. So Pacman will use the mirror list to download the packages updates from the mirror list. So everything is configured here. I just wanted to show you where it is. Yes, the parallel number of parallel downloads available or by default in Archcraft is 5. So okay, so there is progress bar, but if you don't want the progress bar, you have to uncomment this line. You can uncomment this line to have a colorful progress bar. You can use system log here. So options are there. So that's it. I will now close this. So we are completed with the review configuration files. You have to select back, and now you have to select done. Now you have to select close installer. So it will close the installation. That's it. Now what we will do is close this welcome screen, right click, then you have to use shutdown or reboot. So this is a virtual machine. I require to remove the ISO that has been loaded, because otherwise it will again boot using the ISO and we will have a live desktop. So for that I will use the shutdown. So I will shut down the system, and then you have to use the enter command to start the shutdown. That's it. So we have completed with the installation of the Archcraft Openbox window manager using the Archcraft command line installer. So see you in the next video. We will do a review of the Openbox window manager of Archcraft.